Hi everyone, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening. Today we're going to do a check-in on the April garden.
We've had a very productive week, and to celebrate, we're doing our first giveaway of the season.
Welcome to our garden, everybody. It is a gorgeous April day, and we are really excited to take you around and do a little garden check-in. We've got a lot done in the last couple of weeks. There's some stuff waking up, but there is a lot more to do. Starting right behind me underneath our tricolor beech, we have recently pruned back some Vanessa Bell roses. You can see that we take them back pretty far. There's just a handful of canes for each one. And they are going to flush back and reach the bottom layer of this tree. I mean, they're going to touch the canopy of this tree. It's going to be gorgeous. This whole edge is yet to be cleaned up and dug out, but we're going to do that because the catmint gets so big.
You can kind of see right here the edge that I've been starting to draw. This is all going to get cut out.
Yes, and if we move this way, you can see our boxwoods need to be sheared. That's on the to-do list before we lay compost. We use compost as mulch, and so we want to get all of like the drip laid and things pruned before the compost gets settled. Otherwise, it ends up on top of your gorgeous new layer of mulch / compost.
So messy pruning boxwoods.
Right here is our Gatsby Pink Oak Leaf Hydrangea, which the buds are starting to swell. Oak Leaf Hydrangeas are an early blooming hydrangea. They are the earliest to bloom in our garden. So if you like a little bit of hydrangea color earlier in the season, this is a great way to go. Recently, we installed a Jardin tower on our Teasing Georgia climbing rose. It is going to take this thing over. It is a beast. Teasing Georgia grows so quickly and so intensely that I guarantee by the end of the season we won't see that tower. Right in front of it, we recently applied some aluminum sulfate to our Let's Dance Skyview hydrangea. This is a big leaf hydrangea that blooms on old wood and new wood, but we added the aluminum sulfate to add some acidity to the soil to try and get some blue blooms, because it is called Let's Dance Skyview after all. Moving on back, stuff is starting to swell. You can see some perennials are starting to come out of the ground. We added this cute little Essex trellis to this lime rookie hydrangea. It's not necessary for this hydrangea, but we just thought a little bit of structure would look great in this area. Right here is our pollarded dappled willow. This is going to be amazing once it starts to push growth, but right now it does look terrible, doesn't it, Christopher?
It does, but I have noticed right in here you can see the color of these little stumps is starting to change, and that was the sign last year when it started to push the new growth, and it also taught me that I hadn't killed it, because I really thought I killed it.
Our hellebores are blooming beautifully. We had pruned back all of the foliage, and now the flowers are really the showcase. We get all of our hellebores at Trader Joe's because they're affordable and easy to get, because Trader Joe's is right around the corner. But unfortunately, what that means is we don't know the variety name. Over this way, right here to my left, we've installed a wireless deer fence, and you'll notice why I chose this spot. Right there is a deer hoof print, and right there is a deer hoof print. And so my thinking was the deer must be coming through this way. And so that's where I put one of the wireless deer fence, and they are battery operated. They have a scented piece right here in the blue, and those 4 prongs are charged with electricity. So when the deer is attracted to the scent, it gets zapped and it says, "Oh no, I hate it here," and it runs away. So that's the goal.
Show us how it works, Eric.
I am not showing you how it works. Over here is the hydrangea room, which right now looks like a bunch of sticks, but you are going to be amazed how this looks this year. This is a variety of Invincible Lace, Invincible
Sublime,
Ruby, Invincible Sublime, Incredible Blush, and Incredible White. And it is just going to be an explosion of hydrangeas. Again, it's being edged out a little bit more this season. Our stone rug is awaiting its bench, which is sitting in the garage right now.
in a box.
In a box to be put together. A lot of stuff has been cut back over here. Our lamium is waking up. More hellebores. We did coppice our Winecraft Black Smoke Bush. You can see our Kinstligos honeysuckle is waking up. It's putting out a lot of growth, actually.
It is. I think that's going to do quite well this year.
Yeah, and that is the same thing we did over on the other side with the Wilderton Note Hall. It's 3 trellises that have been zip tied together, hammered into the ground, and they're held in place by those fence hooks.
I'm standing underneath the Gothic Arch, which is the home to 2 of the Generous Gardener roses. These climbers did very well for us last year. They were just planted as bare root 1 full season ago, so they almost made it to the top. I did have a bunch of dieback, especially on the other side here, but these are going to skyrocket right up to the top, and they are joined by the Betty Corning clematis that we pruned back a while ago, and they're starting to put out some lovely growth too. While I was at it with the rose pruning, I took care of Gertrude Jekyll. I will say it's the most beautiful rose, most beautiful fragrance, the worst thorns in the garden. Oh my goodness, she is mean. She goes right through my rose gauntlet gloves every time I find little pieces of her in my fingertips. But the rest of the roses, all 40 plus of them, got their treatment.
Well, don't forget Mill on the Floss really got a treatment.
Yes, as you can see, there is a hole right here. Mill on the Floss just rotted out from the base. I lifted one cane and it pulled right out. So I kept pulling and the entire rose came out in one clump without a tiny root attached to it. It was sad.
It never was a strong performer for us. Like maybe a handful of blooms per year.
Yeah, it wasn't the best in this location. I don't know. We did lift the red bud this year, which I don't know if you can see, but there's purple.
I know.
It's coming. This is going to be really pretty. It was really nice to get this lifted. I know it was a little traumatic for Eric because this is his favorite tree. We took out quite a few lower branches, but it's got such a beautiful shape, and I think it's going to let a lot more light in for these guys underneath. We've started taking out some of the sod for the new edges. These Invincible Sublime get 5 by 5, and we know they're going to be this big mass. So we're giving them a little more breathing room. Obviously, that beautiful sound. The Caterina Fountain is on. This is always fun because it weighs somewhere around 700 pounds in total.
It does.
Most of which is the bowl. So in order to get the pump in, you have to run the electrical cord through this and through the pillar. And then somehow out underneath. We did manage to do it. I have both hands and it's on. So kudos to us.
That is, sorry to interrupt, but that is attached to a Google Home right here. Or what is that called, that plug?
Kaza, I think is the name of it.
Kaza Home. And so we can control the fountain by our phone because a lot of people message me on Instagram and ask about splash. And it does splash. I mean, you can see it right here in the light. It splashes quite a bit. So if we left it running 24/7, I think that it would run out of water. We only run it when we're outside and we use our phone to control it.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that all of the other lights that we have outside are connected to.
And we have it set to definitely turn off at 10 p.m. in case one of us forgets to turn it
off. Look at these absolutely beautiful tete-a-tete. One of the greatest little mini daffodils. I'm excited for all of the bulbs to come up. We're starting to see a little bit of color. It's still early, but we keep having these warm days, so some stuff is just ready to go. Over here is the big addition that we're making this year in terms of garden space. There's a bit of a trench going through here. We realize that's not going to be big enough. So there's a line that goes all the way out to here. And in this place, we're going to be putting our first, well, the fountain counts as our first major piece of concrete, but our second concrete piece is going in here. It's a 30-inch urn on a short pedestal. It's going to be absolutely beautiful here. We're thinking maybe trailing hydrangeas with some kind of thriller in the middle of it. There's so many options.
And we are moving this ellipsis,
yes,
sculpture.
We'll go with that.
And I'd love to do a drift of At Last Roses against the blue of the Chomnar. I feel like that would be really pretty.
It would be very pretty.
I think that'd be great. But because we're moving this out, this stuff right here, like the daylily and all that, that's not a back or mid border thing. So that's going to have to be moved in groups.
Yep, some of this Nosferatu daylily is going to move.
You may have noticed that our trellises that were on our clematis in the center, the square ones, have been switched with our round trellises on the outside. And that was because we installed the Jardin Tower, which we'll get to in a moment. And I wanted all the same shapes over there. But I love the square trellises on the edges here. They had a nice structure. This is a Essex obelisk square. Planted on it is Crown Princess Margareta, which I think might have gotten nibbled on a little bit. I think her roots kind of got attacked this winter.
There's definitely more dieback on some of those than there were on other roses this year.
And I hope she comes back strong. We do have our hedge of Invincible. No, these aren't Invincible, mini Mauvettes, right? Yep. I don't see any sign of life on them, but they are hardy to zone 4. They're one of the only smooth leaf hydrangeas that don't share that same hardiness down to zone 3. They're hardy down to zone 4 because they are triploids and they have a much more compact stem and a thicker leaf. And so they have like nice stout blooms, but they don't share the same hardiness. So you kind of got to give and take a little bit with the hydrangeas. Right here are quince buds, all swollen up. I know people think quince is an old-fashioned shrub, but this is double take orange. It's a proven winner's color choice shrub, quince. The color is outstanding. As intense as these bluebells are underneath is how intense this orangey peach bloom is on this shrub. It is fantastic. On our berm, you can see that our ice follies are all blooming. They're the first of the mix of daffodils planted on the berm to bloom. I can't remember the other varieties that are planted up there.
That was a bag that was called Big Blooms.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense because the blooms are big. We have another wireless deer fence because I put them by the deer hooves that I saw imprinted in the ground. I thought that was the best thing to do. And then I'll move them around a little bit when the time comes. Our Prince and Century ginkgo is growing very slowly, as it's supposed to, but it's doing well. Wow, these buds are so swollen on this viburnum. This is opening day, right?
Yep. And if you notice, Eric, if you stand back a little bit, or don't even stand back, this thing is big.
It's reached its full size very quickly.
Which I have a feeling means it's going to get bigger.
It might get bigger. Down below are 2 spireas that the deer ate to the ground, but they come back every year and they're fine. I think that's candy corn spirea.
Yep, that's a candy corn.
Anything else in the back berm that we really want to show off?
We do have the storm cloud coming
Yeah, look at the storm cloud coming up. This is the storm cloud Amsonia, and it looks like asparagus coming up right now. Right here. I mean, this plant goes through so much transformation over the season. It looks like asparagus, and then it has these beautiful tufts of blue, and then the leaves completely transform.
We have that beautiful drift of the storm cloud, and you can see there is one over here on the left that's gotten separated from the bunch.
I know. I think we have to shear these up a little bit this season. But right in front of it is a iris with a really cool leaf that comes out kind of purple and green mixed together. What is that called?
Purple flag.
Well, that makes sense.
I don't even know what color the flower is. Oh my gosh, there's another Amsonia right there. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that one is not as big as these over here. I wonder what that's about because it doesn't get blocked.
That's true.
Our Tough Stuff hydrangeas have been aluminum sulfated, and they have a lot of growth coming from the base and some swelling up near the top, so that's good news. All of this looks great. This bark on the river birches, absolutely one of my favorite moments in the garden. And our pollarded black pussy willow has swollen buds all over it.
That's fantastic. Eric, talk a little bit about what might happen under your feet in a month or so.
So one of the plans we have is turning this into a dry creek bed because this is where the water runs off of the property. So this will be dug out a little bit and filled with stone, as well as a hedge of hibiscus installed in front. Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
Hibiscus, very excited about that. And then this bed will be connected to the Limelight hydrangea bed, which has been cleaned out again. I think I cleaned it out for the 4th or 5th time, just really to ensure that there was no debris left underneath because of the mites we had last season. And we'll give it some fertilizer. This year we're going to use Holly Tone because that's what Costco had on sale. So we will use that.
And right up here
is our Woolerton Old Hall climbing rose. Really pushing growth. But again, we did the 3 trellises. These we got at Home Depot. We zip tied them together and we hung them on our vinyl fence hooks.
The big thing that we have been up to this week was the refresh of our elevated planter boxes from Gardener Supply. They've been spaced out perfectly. Our measuring was some brain-numbing math whiz situation, but we did just get the final accessory, which is the arch extenders. These are now a foot taller than they were last year, which means more room for cucumbers, or maybe a squash could grow up it.
A Jack-B Little Pumpkin.
Jack-B Little Pumpkin. Ooh, you know what? I wonder, can you start pumpkins indoors to get them going? Because last year my Jack-B Little Pumpkins, they stayed so little. Remember that?
Well, we had bad soil last year.
Yeah, that was terrible. But think of all the fun flowers we can do up here, or veggies. The soil is looking good. And with the new feet underneath them, this whole area just feels more grounded. See, ha ha ha. We did put over in this corner a bird bath that was on the side of the house. This was actually my grandmother's, something that I remember from growing up. So it's nice to have a little piece of nostalgia in the garden. My gosh, we really did get a whole lot done. I mean, these roses, these are the apricot or honey apricot flavorette from Proven Winners. Just since I cut them back, they're already starting to leaf out. They look really, really good. Very, very pleased with that.
The newer Proven Winners roses are no joke.
Here is a drift of 7 reminiscent pink roses from Proven Winners. It's part of a series with the reminiscent crema and reminiscent coral, right?
Yes.
The pink, I believe, is the biggest one. These came out of the winter so healthy. There was minimal dieback. When I was cutting them back, I came upon the fact that they are number 2 in terms of angry thorns in the garden, but 100% worth it. I cannot wait to see how fast these rebound, especially because they are soon to be on drip.
Yeah, and they look pretty close together, but that is because these roses are a bit more narrow than traditional shrub roses.
Yes, they're not a sprawling wide. That would be the sprawling wide rose. That would be the Ancient Mariner. These 3, they will take up this whole entire mass. Here in front of the Ancient Mariner roses are the Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangeas. These have growth coming all from the base. They're looking really good. I'm seeing buds swelling all the way up here. So fingers crossed. Because of our zone, we're a little bit iffy on big leaf hydrangeas. Wait, these aren't big leaf. This is serrata, right?
Yeah, they're mountain hydrangeas.
This is a mountain hydrangea, so it should actually technically be a little hardier, but they will rebloom for us one way or the other. You can see the aluminum sulfate. Yes, we're trying to make everything blue, but even if we get pink on these, they're going to be so beautiful. Let me clamber through here. This is a bloomerang purple lilac that last year didn't do so hot. I think we had kind of mushed it in between a couple things, but this year it is going to bloom its head off. It's going to be really, really beautiful in here. Again, we have a couple more sky view, so hopefully we'll get that nice, beautiful pale blue color. And here are the 3 Tottering by Gently roses. Very gentle on the pruning. Easy, not really big thorns, not a problem at all.
And very healthy.
Very healthy. This combination, little sky blue, yellow rose. These are Midnight Wine Shine, Dark Leaf Weigela.
And I'm thinking where you're standing right here, Let's Dance play in the blue salvia.
That'd be really nice. A little blue, yellow, blue sandwich.
Yes. Are we carving out this round here, or we're leaving that a little bit indented, do you think?
This right here, I do have this edged, so it's going to come all the way in. Actually, this isn't going to change much, but just in front of the sky view, I want there to be a little bit more breathing room with the edge.
Right behind me is our hedge of Lady of Shalott roses. This is a small climber. It's all been cut back. We've added some eye hooks into the wall so that we can kind of train the canes. But if we want to, I'm not sure if it'll need it, but I really want them to be like up and over and billowing over the wall while we're sitting out here enjoying the terrace during the summer. Our cushions aren't out yet because it's going to rain all week. Our peach tree is swelling. The buds are swelling. We still have our North Pole arborvitaes in these pots. They're going to go along the property line up front shortly. But, Christopher, do you want to see something really cool?
Let me see. What's cool?
Well, right here in this cooler is our giveaway, Proven Winners unique flower bulb collections. We have 2 to give away. This one is the Fire Blend. This one is the Summer Party Blend. And they're a perfectly curated combination of bulbs for you. Right, this one right here has Dahlias, Topmix Yellow, Gladioli Prince of Orange, and Calla Lilies Outback. And this one right here has Gladioli Snowboard, Dahlias Decorative Kelvin Floodlight. That one sounds intense. Dahlias Decorative Orange Nugget, and Calla Lilies Nova Sun. So we're going to go ahead and give away to 2 winners. One will win this one will win this one. Comment down below which one you'd like to win, the Fire Blend or the Summer Party Blend. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and we are going to pick the winner 1 week from today. So comment down below which blend you would prefer, and these will be sent to you. Look at our shade bed. It has no shade right now.
There is no shade whatsoever.
Everything's getting sun. But we did put out our hoses. Our hoses are from Costco, in case you're wondering. They're just retractable. I think it's like sunny day or something like that. Over here is getting an entire revamp. This edge right here is coming all the way out. It's getting connected here. This stuff, a lot of it's being pulled and rearranged. Our lilac is really starting to push. Looking good.
And that's very special because that lilac is one of the first things we ever bought for the garden.
That's right. Vanderwolf Pine looking very nice. Forsythia is coming out.
It's happening.
We're removing it very soon. We're going to let it bloom, and then it's out of here. Hollywood Juniper got staked because it kept falling over. Our Deutzias are really pushing growth. Did you know Deutzias are part of the hydrangea family?
I didn't know that, but does that mean we should fertilize them the same way?
Probably fertilize it, yeah. Look at all the new growth on the Let's Dance Can-Dos, especially from the base. Lots of new growth there. We're adding in some arborvitaes here, which are very cool, but I want to show you our spring containers. Look at, they came out so cute. They're starting to bloom. My nieces came over on Easter and we planted them up. The centerpiece is a North Pole arborvitae. This again will be taken out and put along the boundary lines. The daffodils are blooming, yellow tulips, and the pansies. Oh, it's got its like first full day of like really hot sun and they don't know what to do. That's really funny. But come on over here. I want to show you a sneak peek of the front door.
This is something Eric worked on very hard for the last week, and it was such a success. I'm very impressed.
I painted the front door. It's evergreen fog. And then I painted the containers. The containers are painted rosemary. They're both Sherwin-Williams colors. And then inside the containers is an insert that I made out of a 5-gallon bucket and planted it up with columbine, daffodils, and more pansies. And I'm just in love with it. I think it is so cute. And our new little obelisks. So those are the 16-inch ones, right?
Yes.
And the ones in the front container, I think, are the 24-inch ones.
Yes.
But I'm super pleased with how this came out. That is it for our April garden check-in. Don't forget to enter the giveaway so you can win one of the fantastic bulb boxes. Comment down below the one that you prefer. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.